A new novel by a Central Illinois author is a sequel in a series about LGBTQ love and martial arts. That's just one of the things you want to hear about to start your day for Friday, May 31st. I'm Colin Shope, and this is WCBU's On Deck. First on deck today, East Peoria leaders are gathering input from the public on charting a path for the city over the next 2 decades. Mayor John Call says community feedback is vital to developing the East Peoria 2045 Comprehensive Plan. WCBU's Joe Deacon reports.
East Peoria has an online survey seeking opinions on such topics as housing, business, recreation, and entertainment options. The city also held the first in a series of open houses on the comprehensive plan earlier this month. Mayor Call says he was impressed by the turnout and the feedback offered at the event.
When you look from the public's perspective, you don't know everyone's got their own opinion of what they'd like to see, but mixed-use development, we heard it time and time again, people would like to see more of a mixed use on future growth.
Call says he sees numerous areas of opportunity for growth in East Peoria, particularly commercial growth.
I looked to the Pinecrest area. That was something in our comprehensive plan that's been in place as a target of opportunity, whatever you want to call it, for a number of years, and it still is.
Call says East Peoria already is progressing through several infrastructure improvements, such as an overhaul of Springfield Road and upgrading the Veterans Road Bridge, and he touts the construction of a new police station as a major step forward.
Not just a morale booster for the men and women that serve our community, but, it's going to be an asset to the city as well.
The Comprehensive Plan survey is available at eastpeoria2045.com. For WCBU's On Deck, I'm Joe Deacon.
Here are some other stories we're following in the WCBU newsroom. A Pekin man faces federal charges for possessing homemade explosives. Plus, Republican State Representative Bill Howder says he's disappointed in the guilty verdict in the criminal trial of former President Donald Trump. You can find more of these stories and all the details at WCBU.org. On this week's episode of Out and About, Dr. May Gilliland Wright of Arts Partners of Central Illinois talks with author Joe Shinakis about his new novel, Pride and Persistence. The ICC professor is also an LGBTQIA+ advocate and martial arts expert. Joining them is Cheryl Langley, manager of the Book Nook in Peoria, which will be hosting multi-author book signing events on June 8th and July 27th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Joe, Cheryl, welcome to Out and About.
Thanks you for having us.
Well, Joe, your new book, Pride and Persistence, is a sequel to your celebrated novel, Singlets and Secrets. Before we dive into the sequel, tell us about Singlets and Secrets, the book itself, as well as the reception.
I'm so excited for people to read Singlets and Secrets, especially with Pride Month. This is an LGBTQ love story. I call it my favorite love story because it's about a boy who falls for a guy who stands up to him against hate. And it becomes a fun, will they, won't they, is the other guy even like me kind of story. But it's a beautiful story of friendship and resilience framed in this action-adventure martial arts tale to just give it a sense of heightened drama and excitement, full of twists and turns all throughout. Singlets and Secrets is the first book of a brand new series, and Pride and Persistence will be the second book coming out later this summer.
So you received high praises for your first novel in this series, including from John Hurwitz, co-creator of the acclaimed series Cobra Kai, who said that your book, quote, is equal parts fresh, heartfelt, entertaining, and important. How does the sequel Pride and Persistence build on that?
The sequel that I'm working on is a story that is meant to unite the community. My tagline, if the publisher keeps it, is, what are we fighting for, if not each other? And I want to build on this idea that we have so many divisions. We all know this. No one needs to rehash all the divisions that we have. I want to bring people together. I want this story to say that there is possibility for those who have had perhaps hate in their heart. There's a possibility of redemption. There's a possibility of moving forward. And when we see that what we have in common is much bigger and much more important than our differences, then I think we're going to stand up and fight for each other because we all deserve to have a champion in our corner.
And Cheryl, At the Book Nook, you are hosting 2 large events this summer that will allow us to meet incredible authors like Joe. Tell us a little bit more. Are the authors local?
Yes, all of them will be from the Peoria area. The one on June 8th will have 16 different authors there, and Joe will be one of those 16. And then on July 27th, there will be a total of 20 authors there, as well as a food truck. And there, at the second one, there will also be some local crafters who focus on bookish stuff as well.
Joe, as we kick off Pride Month, entering into June, I know that writing is not the only way that you do advocacy work. You are also a motivational speaker. But also, how has writing these books been a part of your own journey, and how have you seen it impact others?
This is a full circle moment for me. I've been a full-time educator for 23 years now, and I will confess, my first year in the classroom, I was not out. I wasn't sure how to be yet. I hadn't found the confidence. I didn't have any queer professors or teachers at the time that I looked up to that might help make that an easier transition for me to have that strength in the classroom. But I'll tell you, I could share 100 stories like this ever since I have been out, and now it's a day one introduction. Hello, I'm Joe Shanakis. I'm a gay professor and author. I am a fierce advocate for our community. It's so important to share that because I've had students who come up and talk to me about mental health issues. I've had students who've shared really sad things I don't want to talk about on air, but what I remember is it is so hard to be what you cannot see.
You've been listening to Highlights of Out and About, a weekly production of Arts Partners of Central Illinois and WCBU. To catch the full conversation, subscribe to the podcast or visit WCBU.org.
Support for arts and culture coverage on WCBU comes from PNC Financial Services. PNC is committed to supporting local art and culture events in the communities they serve.
Now, before we let you go, Legally Blonde opens tonight at Cornstalk Theater. The musical tale of Elle Wood's law school experience starts at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are $25. And that's all for today. You can subscribe to WCBU's On Deck podcast on the NPR app, Apple, or Spotify.